the 5th of March 2016, and I've got some stuff to tell you guys about. So those tickets that I bought last night, or ticket, I should say, is actually for the Lexington Comic and Toy Convention, or the Comic-Con. Jacob and Rebecca are going to give me a ride up there, which, because it's one big building, they can give me a ride, I can stay out of their hair, everything should be awesome. Of course, there's going to be several goals involved with going here. Mainly that 2 doctors that I haven't met yet are going to be there. The 7th Doctor is going to be there, Sylvester McCoy, which is awesome in and of itself. But also, my Doctor is going to be there. And as some of you know that have been following me for the last 2 years, I already met Colin Baker. He's going to be there, but I've already met him. Which lays out a bit of a nightmare scenario that I was talking to Donovan and our producer from TechSlant earlier last night. The tables, as they're graphed, are set up like this. There's Peter Davison, Sylvester McCoy, and in the middle is Colin Baker. Here's the nightmare scenario. Some of you probably already know where I'm headed with this. So I go to Peter, I go to Sylvester. What's Colin gonna feel like, huh? So I'm kind of hoping they have lines whenever I decide to try to get an autograph from them, or I may space it out. I don't know. It's just a nightmare. There's another possibility that has occurred to me, which is less of a nightmare scenario and more of a pretty okay scenario. Depending on the spacing, they may be so close, table-wise, that I might be able, if Colin is curious, to explain. And given the sense of humor that the 3 of them have, it's completely possible that instead of this being a nightmare scenario, this becomes one huge joke to the 3 of them. Because this whole thing, my worry really doesn't come down to, I'm going to insult a celebrity, it's, I don't want anyone to feel bad, man, regardless. If you gave me this same scenario with not so well-known people, if you somehow reshifted it, I would still feel bad for that person in the middle, regardless. I think that's a healthy way to feel. It's making sure that nobody is left out. It's common decency. But anyway, there's also a couple of cosplayers. Greg Grunberg is going to be there, which, if he's free, I'm going to at least go up to him. The reason why I want to go up to him is that he's done a lot for epilepsy awareness. He has his own charity and everything involved with it, and I'd really want to thank him for that. By the way, there's not going to be many snaps after 11 o'clock Eastern today, because I'm going to be at Kevin's. And there's not a lick of internet to be had anywhere around there, so it's a nice little isolation that I like going into from time to time. I never have problems focusing on friends when I go to their places, don't get me wrong, but that extra layer of not having to worry about anything because I'm isolated, it's freeing, it really is. When I'm at Kevin's, I can have complete freedom from it all. No emails, no comments on my content. I can just let loose and enjoy it. Because don't get me wrong, my content is my purpose in life. It really is. But still, a little bit of freedom from time to time, it's nice. By the way, what's true friendship? When you have time-sensitive Quest on your tablet games, and you go, I can lose some stuff. Yeah, I know, I'm making some hardcore sacrifices on this one. I do have some stuff that I need to get done today. For instance, I really need to sweep. I don't know how I can create so much dust. I'm one person! Sometimes if you look at the floor, you'd think multiple people had come through here. Or maybe it's just me being obsessive about being clean, I don't know. This is my vacuum, by the way. Smaller place, smaller vacuum. Just makes sense. This just occurred to me while I was sweeping. I don't think I've ever actually shown you guys what my desk completely is. So my great-grandmother was in a nursing home for a while. She's passed on now. But when she was there, something happened. The place was, I suppose the word upgrading would be appropriate for the food things that they rolled around. But there was a problem. They suddenly had a bunch of the old ones just sitting around, and they needed to get rid of them. So they sold them all to anyone that would grab them. So that's what I got. This is actually my desk. The iPad can be there or can't. It's not a permanent spot. But yeah. I usually always have my mug there so I can constantly drink water. And there's one thing I've always thought about. This thing extends upward. So I was trying to play Heroes of the Storm standing up, and I kind of tweaked my wrist a little bit because it was at the wrong angle, so it's a work in progress. The other awesome thing about this thing is that it has wheels, so when I have to sweep this part of the floor, totally slide it out of the way, and we're all good. So Kevin made something a bit spicier than expected. I'll just go with what came out of there instead of eating that, though. Before it gets too hot. I feel like we need to muck ourselves up around this just to make the picture complete. Back home now, we actually ate. You saw the food. I've got to get that chicken recipe off of Samantha. That was a divine marinade. Also, another friend of ours showed up, which I really don't get to see her unless she's at their place, so it was nice to catch up with her again. But we played some things. We played some Cards Against Humanity. That game speaks for itself. And then we also played The Contender with the politically incorrect deck mixed in. That was a blast. Neither of which are recommended. If you hate swearing or adult things, just stay away. Stay away. I'm of course quick to point out that The Contender is actually family friendly without the politically incorrect deck in it, so you're good there. But Cards Against Humanity, no.
Without a home to call your own, but that doesn't mean you wouldn't be able to like go up in the woods and kill your own deer and eat it and live like guys used to live.